This is the As Raw Walk and Talk, and we're talking Jake Paul. And we're not going to talk Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, which is up and coming, and I will have breakdowns on that, and we will go further in depth, but that's not what this is about. And I don't think that's what this whole thing has been about for Jake Paul. I don't think it's been about the fights. Now, he has done well to get a lot of attention, to get good paydays out of it, but the bigger play and the most important thing that he has done, he's gotten his foot in the door with the business of boxing. He has opened his own promotion. He has signed fighters. He has thrown already big events. And now he has a working relationship with Showtime, ESPN, and DAZN. The three major networks in boxing. He has a relationship with all three of them. He now has a show that's coming on DAZN where he's going to spotlight his up-and-coming prospects, right? He's going to develop his own roster. And this is a huge move because when you got a guy like De La Hoya, right, with Golden Boy Promotions, which is basically built on the back of De La Hoya, right, with him being the ambassador, with him being the face of it. Now you have Jake Paul that's getting his own thing on DAZN, right? And at this point, Jake Paul has now become a face in boxing, not just in YouTube, which he has that too, not just with people that are like social media, or people who are follow influencers, or people who follow vlogs and stuff like that. Not just them, but he's a well-known person in the boxing crowd, right? A well-known person in the MMA crowd. Now he has his own avenue to put you on TV if you sign with him as a fighter. This right here is a vicious blow to Oscar De La Hoya. It really is. Why specifically Oscar De La Hoya? Because Oscar De La Hoya is a small-time promoter compared to Matchroom, compared to PBC, compared to Top Rank. Okay, they are a small-time promoter compared to those three outfits, right? Now, they've always been bigger than, they've never been like a Mob Nation, they're above all them. But now with Jake Paul and MVP Promotions, or Most Valuable Promotions, coming in and getting the network deal and getting now the chance to have that in their back pocket when they're going to sign a fighter and say, I can put you on TV. I have my own slots. I don't have to rely on putting you on someone else's card or putting you on my card when I fight once a year. I can put you on. And it's not going to just stop with this prospect highlight card. It's not. This is just the opening. Because all these networks want is the proven fact that a guy can sell. And if this thing has good ratings and they build the guys, right, build their prospects, and Jake Paul's going to be way more relatable to these guys than De La Hoya is, and he's going to be way more well-known to these guys than De La Hoya is, because De La Hoya is now becoming a thing of the past. A lot of the guys coming up don't remember De La Hoya fights. That's the truth of it. A lot of these guys coming up, we're not watching De La Hoya. To them, if you tell them a legend, right, bring up a legend, they're saying Floyd Mayweather. That's as far as they're going back. They're not going as far back as De La Hoya. So he has lost that grasp on the sport. And you got a guy like Jake Paul, who is well known through all these other avenues besides boxing, but even known in boxing. De La Hoya's going to compete with a guy like that to sign fighters, right? Especially now that fighters would want a social media presence, right? Because the social media presence is very important. And we just saw Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia sell 1.2 million pay-per-views. If you don't think that social media is going to have a huge impact on boxing going forward, and I'm not just talking YouTube boxing, I'm talking about professional boxers needing YouTube accounts, needing Instagram, needing TikTok, needing all those things to sell their fights going forward, De La Hoya is not going to be able to compete with Jake Paul in that field. And Jake Paul is going to be able to look at it and attack it and use his brand to sell these fighters more than anything De La Hoya can do. Jake Paul is the biggest threat to Golden Boy and De La Hoya than the other three promoters, because the other three promoters are already above Golden Boy. They are not trying to compete with Golden Boy. They don't feel like they're in the same lane with him. But a guy like Jake Paul, who is up and coming, could be the final blow to knocking Golden Boy and De La Hoya out of the promotional race. I think Jake Paul has done this as a long play. He already got his foot in the door with the PFL, where he's a partner there, and they are currently, it looks like, going to be buying Bellator. And now he's in with boxing, and he has a connection with DAZN, Showtime, and ESPN. He now has a show on DAZN, and he's now signing fighters, and he now has a place to say, you sign with me, I'm going to put you on there, and I can get you on main events on DAZN. I can get you main events on Showtime. I can get you main events on ESPN. I can get you on, become a pay-per-view fighter. And you can even fight on my cards when I fight and get that buzz. He is a threat in boxing. He's not going anywhere. And this YouTube boxing, or all these things that we want to put these categories in, is going to become the norm. And it's not going to become the norm that YouTubers becoming boxers. Boxers are going to become social media. And they're going to become influencers. And they're going to use that to sell themselves. And if you're a promoter, you better have some kind of grasp on it. Or you better have some kind of strategy on it. And I know Jake Paul does. Deuces.